Here are some steps for building in treat foods. For people who are chronic dieters, who have struggled with eating disorders, it can be overwhelming to think about how to incorporate the kinds of foods that they were trying to avoid or ban or eliminate from their lives before, but they can be part of overall healthy eating. And here's what you need to do. First of all, start by eating regularly. You want to make sure that you're having 3 meals per day with healthy snacks as needed to keep your body supplied with an adequate amount of fuel, so you don't get extremely hungry, which makes you more vulnerable to binges. Next, you want to have the right attitude. You want to change your thinking. Don't categorize foods as bad or evil or forbidden, because when you do and you try to ban them, you start to miss them, you start to crave them, and then you're more likely to binge on them. Next, you need to set some goals. Now that might sound strange to you, but again, you need to start somewhere. And ultimately you get more flexible, but decide how much and how often you're going to have your treat foods or play foods or fun foods, whatever you want to call them. It may mean that, say people bring in cookies to work every day, maybe you'll decide you'll have a cookie every Tuesday, or a handful of chips on Wednesday, or a piece of dessert on Friday. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Some people even want a little small piece of chocolate every day. Whatever works for you, but in the beginning it starts if you plan a little bit so you don't feel overwhelmed, and ultimately you get more flexible. Next, you want to set up a supportive environment. If you tend to binge on M&Ms, you don't want to have cabinets full of them, because that can be very tempting. But if you keep just a small amount, you're less likely to succumb to binging, and you're going to feel more confident. Next, you want to include your treat food as part of a meal. And let me tell you the reason for this. That's because you don't want to be really hungry when you eat it. If you have it as part of the meal and you have other foods in there, you're less likely to feel tempted to binge. Also, for some people who struggle with disordered eating, when they have a sugary foods in between meals, sometimes it does tend to trigger a binge. So start out by including it as part of the meal. Also, you need to know your red flags. You certainly don't want to reach for your treat food when you're tired, when you're hungry, when you're stressed, when you're sad, because those are the times you're more vulnerable to uncontrolled emotional type of eating. Lastly, find support. Whether it be a friend, a family member, a coworker, even professional help, find someone that can help you set your goals and stick with them.